Hello everybody, it's Julia here from the Highly Sensitive Tarot, and I'm back today with part 8 of my video collection showing my oracle decks. And a few days ago I recorded part 7, this is part 8, and this brings me up to date with my oracle cards, with my oracle decks. Like I said, I think I've got around about 80. And I've been showing sort of 8, 9 or 10 decks per video. So yeah, I think I think I've got about 80. And the decks that I've shown in part 7 and today part 8 are the decks that I bought this year. They're my most recent decks. So without further ado, I'll do like I did last time. I'll show you some cards and I'll pick one and have a little read from the book. So the first one is the Goddess Dream Oracle by Wendy Andrew. This is a lovely little deck. It's a rock pool deck. Take her hand through this Goddess Dream Oracle and reconnect to your own intuition and remember who you really are. The goddess will reveal herself through her dark mysteries in the depths of the forest to her splendour as the waves of the sea. So the artist and author Wendy Andrew illustrates the divine embodiments of the goddess, channeling sacred feminine energy. This is a 36 card deck. It's very, very cute. Very, very nice. I've paired this deck with the lovely Tarot. What else did I pair it with? Maybe the Penumbra, I'm not sure. It's the decks that I've been working with recently. So this is the back of the deck. I edged mine in this sort of pinky purple colour, which I'm not sure whether I like now, but I did it. And these are the cards. Let's put that down a little bit. As you can see, they are extremely gorgeous. Very, very pretty colours. You've got forgiveness, dreaming and direction. I love the purples in this deck. It's absolutely beautiful. Imagination in nature and insight. Inspiration. Oh, look at that, look. To have a dress like that. Wow. Trust, your path, transformation, serenity, connection, courage, bravery. Let's just have a quick look at the rest. Oh, look at that one, look, balance. They are beautiful. The colours and just the artwork is lovely. It really is. So yeah, I shall, I've got them upside down now already. Moon Law. Oh, honestly. There we go, letting go. That's gorgeous, isn't it? I think these would go really well with the Mary L deck, actually. I don't know why, I just suddenly thought that. So let's just have a quick read. What shall we read? How about connection? So it says air. The breath of goddess gives us life. The swirling winds of divine breath move around the earth. They link all beings and carry within them the secrets of our ancestors and the sorrow and laughter of our fellow beings. If you pay attention to the air you breathe, you can begin to experience this connection. Spend time practicing breathing meditations. Sit quietly and become aware of your breath as it enters your nostrils and let it slowly fill your lungs. Then pause for a moment before gently and slowly breathing out, feeling the air warm as it leaves your nostrils. Are you breathing the air, or is the air breathing you? Let yourself experience the oneness. Send comfort to those fellow beings who are sorrowful and smile with those who are happy. We are all connected. We breathe the same air. If you're feeling weighed down with difficulties, sitting like an empty and receptive vessel can help you hear the message of the goddess as she whispers the secrets of life. She may be softly heard in the stillness between breathing out and breathing in. Your stillness will be rewarded with clarity of vision and imagination. Goddess will lift you weightless on feathered currents from where you may see life's obstacles dissolve and blow away. Be aware of birds as they swoop and glide in the wind. They are borne aloft by the goddess, and they remind us that we owe our life to her sweet breath. And then you get a little affirmation. As you slowly breathe in, I inhale peace. As you slowly breathe out, I exhale worry. So as you can see, it's a gorgeous deck. The words, the guidebook, the images, the colours, everything about this deck is beautiful. I feel that there may be another one of these goddess decks. I'm not sure. It doesn't say. Does it say at the back? Artwork. No, she's written a book. I felt that there was another one, but I'm not sure. There was a goddess something, not dream oracle, but something oracle. I'll have to look that up. But I'm really, really pleased with this deck. It's so pretty, so feminine, so soft. It's gorgeous. So there is that one. The next deck is the Psy Cards deck. And I've shown this in one of my VRs just recently. And you know, this is shocking really. I have nearly finished writing on these cards. I've literally got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I've got 10 cards left that I haven't written on. What I've been doing, because this book is so good, I wanted to take some of the keywords from the book to use to write on this deck, and it took me a little while to find a good pen to do that with, but I found, I think it was one of these. I bought a pack of these Faber-Castell Multimark Superfine, and it writes on these cards beautifully, and it dries instantly, and it's permanent. It's really, really good. So I'm really pleased to have found those. Because you'll see there are some cards where I tried with different pens, and it just, you can see it blurred, and it just didn't work really. But once I found pens that worked, I've been able to write some really good keywords on these cards. So I do hope that with these keywords, it will be enough for me to use this deck without having to look at the guidebook too much. Because that would be nice, wouldn't it? So if you've not seen this, I should have said really, shouldn't I? If you've not seen this before, it's by Nick Hobson. It says, the idea of the Psy Cards came to Nick Hobson in a dream. He saw all the elements of life spread out below him like fields of corn. This moved him to create the Psy Card system of 40 cards to shape life decisions. It draws on Jungian psychology and on myths, poetry and folk wisdom. The book explains the meaning of their cards and their relevance to making key decisions, to personal development, counselling, clinical psychology, meditation, psychic keep fit, and dating new people. It is the definitive book on the Psy Card system, which has won the allegiance of over 20,000 people from all over the world. Wow. And it is a really clever book, actually. There's a lot of information here. The introduction's really good. Talks about the power of symbols. Are there any spreads in here? I can't remember. Where are we? Telling the future, Psy Cards and Tarot, the power of symbols, approaching the cards, the Inquirer, and then through all the cards. There's a bit here about Psy Cards and counselling, a case history. Yeah, I mean, I love anything to do with Carl Jung. I always have done since I was first given a book of his when I was a student nurse, when I was about 21, 22. I think it was Man and His Symbols, and I've just always loved Carl Jung since then. I wish my brain would let me remember everything that I've read, but unfortunately not. So you can see for each card you get a picture, a little sentence, and then you get a page and a half, well, nearly 2 pages, plus you get the associations and the opposites and the thought prompts. So there's some really, really good questions in this. So yeah, I haven't used this as such yet with I want to use it with a tarot deck, and I haven't used it with anything as yet because I've been kind of getting to know it, and like I said, writing on the cards. So but these are many of these are kind of archetypes. Yeah, but you know, I've written things on here like for liberation, I've written freedom, escape, release, running away, finding your true self, identity, choices, freedom from, and freedom to do what. So I've tried to write like a little question on each one as well, just so that that's thought prompting or thought provoking for me. So yeah, I've got 10 more cards left to complete, and then I will be having a go. So I hope in October this will be one of the oracle decks that I'll be ready to work with. Okay, so the third deck is the Urban Crow Oracle by MJ Cullinane. This is a 54 deck. It's a Hay House deck, and I paired this really beautifully just recently with the Penumbra Tarot. I just thought it worked so well. You know, these decks could have been made for each other. It's a really nice deck. I'm sure it will go really well with all of MJ Cullinane's other decks, or her tarot decks. I mean, this will go really well with Forhaxa, won't it? Probably the Grim Alkin's Curious Cats. Trying to think what else I've got of hers. I'm not sure. But yeah, I can already see this with the Forhaxa. Perhaps this will be a good autumn combination for me, is the Urban Crow and the Forhaxa at some point through the autumn. They're really nice cards. I'm really, really pleased with this deck. I resisted buying it for a long time. I don't really know why. I mean, I love crows. I love birds. Yeah. As you can see, it's a really, really pretty deck. Really nice keywords. Oh, look at that. Look, dominance. Poor old crows. Anticipation, community, anomaly, bless, luck, wrath. I love that one. I think that came up with the world in one of the pairings I did from the penumbra, and it just was fantastic. Sacred space and protection. So let's read one of these. We'll go for territory. Card 49. So in the little guidebook, you kind of get a page really for each. What have we got at the beginning here? Getting to know your cards, author's note. Doesn't look like there's any spreads. No. So 49, territory. Crows are very territorial. They have distinct groups and they will not hang out too long on a block that is not theirs. Territory indicates that someone may be entering your space uninvited, or that you may be the one who is the intruder. This card may also ask if you are protecting something out of concern that someone may be trying to step on your toes or take over something you cherish. When territory appears in a reading, you may need to consider what boundaries are in place or if they are needed. Would the situation benefit from establishing some ground rules? Territory may also appear if you need to carve out some space for yourself, whether that be within your home or in the form of time to be alone. You may need to define an area that is solely yours and yours alone. That's very important, isn't it? Very, very important to carve out time to be alone. I think some of us introverted people need that much more than others, don't we? So I just realised it was 17 minutes and I've still got 1, 2, 3, I've got 5 more decks to go. So the next deck I've got here is the Rooted Woman Oracle, which has been around for a while, but I've only recently purchased it. It's Sharon Blackie and Hannah Willow. Beautiful. I've got look at the inside of this box. It's so lovely. I've got one of Hannah, is it Hannah or Sharon Blackie's books? I think it might be the Rooted Women. It's a book, isn't it? I'm not sure. I'm terrible at remembering things. Dr. Sharon Blackie is an award-winning writer, psychologist and mythologist, specialising in the mythic imagination. And Hannah Willow is an artist inspired by wild and free places. So I've got Hannah Willow's Oracle deck. I think it's Folk Tales, is it? And I think I've got something Haggitude maybe, by Sharon Blackie, a book that she wrote. Lovely box actually that this comes in. Nice little guidebook. You get about a page and a half from the cards. There's a lot of information in here about dream work, active imagination, spreads, interpreting the cards, working with it, the suits, how the deck is structured, the heroine's journey. Yeah, it's a really, really nice little production in general, really, which I must edge at some point because it's beautiful, isn't it? I think it would be nice to be edged in that blue. So these are the cards. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Gorgeous artwork. The Well, the Fisher King's Court and the Cairn. Stone Circle. Bog. Island. Buried Moon, the Return, the Threshold, Imran, the Mountain, Quest. Oh, wow, look at the meadow. Oh, I could just lay in that. Sacred Marriage, Pilgrimage, Labyrinth, the Fall, and the Descent. And let's have a quick look through the others. They're so pretty, aren't they? The Grail Bearer, Matcha, oh, Sovereignty, Shape-shifting, Rooted, Transformation, Crossroads, Initiation, Forest, Morrigan, the Wasteland, a Selkie, Cliff, the Isle of Women, and the Cave. So let's read the Fall, shall we? Number 8. Oh, so we're in different suits, aren't we? The Fall. Places. Ooh. I'm showing now that I haven't really worked with this deck particularly, because I would know, wouldn't I? So where's the Fall? So that's in the Journey. So there is Places, Allies, and the Journey, and a couple of focus cards as well. So the Fall is in the Journey. So that's page 116. There we go. So it says, when we heed the call to change and step off the threshold, imagining that we are going to set our feet firmly on the new road ahead of us, we might instead find ourselves stumbling or missing the path and plummeting down into the dark. Let yourself fall. Sometimes we have to let ourselves fall in order to kickstart the process of transformation. So it's a little bit like the Fool, isn't it? We have to let go of old ways of thinking, of old limits, to let the old ways die to make room for the new. Because once you've stepped across that threshold, it is for sure a severance, a kind of death. You can never go back to what you were before. There's no question that it's hard to fall forward into the wind, to let yourself topple off the edge of all that's known and familiar. Even if that old life isn't serving you, it's a big step. This first moment towards wholeness. It means leaving behind the safety of familiar social structures and supports. It's a massive letting go. But these are edge-dwelling days, and if we want to live up to them, we must stand there consciously aware of the troubled times and the endangered planet, and then of our own volition step out across the first threshold. And at some point during the fall, you might find that you're flying after all. Wow. So I think this deck really needs to come out, doesn't it? I think for autumn it's got that feel about it to me. So yeah. I need to spend some time with that deck, I think. What else have we got? So the next one is the Old Ways Magic Oracle, which again you may well have seen recently. I've used this, I paired it with the Penumbra. It's by Naomi Cornock. It's a beautiful deck, really, really nice. Big cards. Has a little guidebook that comes with it, which doesn't have a lot of information in it, but it's enough. I found that these paired really nicely with the penumbra, and I also have put a couple of these on my altar through the summer. I've really enjoyed these cards a great deal. The artwork is stunning. Like, you could peer at these all day and still not see everything in them, I think. They're the sort of cards that every time you look at them, you see something different. All the birds, look, farsight, knowledge and wisdom. These goddesses in these are just amazing. Nurture, growth and community. Oh, and look at the robins, hope. The spark. Transform. Freedom. I always think of freedom when I think of horses, actually. Gentle. Liminal. That's such a good word, isn't it? Liminal. We're in a just about of a liminal space at the moment, aren't we, really? Because summer's not quite gone and autumn is not quite properly here yet either. We're sort of, yeah, we're sort of in between, I think. Rebirth, that's beautiful. Fierce, the badger. Pathways. Heart. Wild voices. Oh look, 2 stags. 3 stags actually. There's one in each. And the beautiful bees. Oh. So what have we got? Reflect, omen, death, grief, connect, renew, sovereignty, retribution, the depths, tribe, offerings, that's beautiful, bounty, contemplate, elemental, oh honestly, journey's end and the sacred journey. So let's have a little read. We'll do wild voices, shall we? 41. So it says, from the littlest beetle, butterfly, snail or mouse to the majestic stag and the grand life-giver, the mighty oak, hear the wild spirits call. Welcome, feel your contribution, no matter how small, it's valued and your voice is heard. The warning, feeling you have no voice, feeling unappreciated and undervalued. And the wisdom, all voices are vital to the overall harmony. So they're just little things to think about, aren't they? Just, you know, there's not a huge amount of, this is not a therapeutic deck, if you like, in the same way as perhaps the Psy cards would be. But it's thought-provoking and it's gorgeous. I mean, this is one of my absolute favourite oracle decks, this one. So the next deck, we've got 3 more, including this one. This is Kate Forsyth's Fairytale Oracle, illustrated by Merle Hunt. And I did a little walkthrough of this recently. It's a 44 card deck by Rockpool. It's beautiful, so soft and feminine. Everything about this is gorgeous. Yeah, everything about it. The only thing that I was not happy about, and you do get that sometimes, is the cards are a bit bent. They're not quite straight. It's like they need a bit of squishing to make them go straight. Beautifully gilded, lovely backs. The guidebook is really nice. You get a whole beautiful colour page. And then you get a bit about the fairy story, like this is Beauty and the Beast, and you get a meaning for the card. There are several fairy stories in this book. What do you get? You get some spreads, quite a few actually. How to use the cards, an introduction, really nice. Really, really nice. The colours in this deck are so strong. It is, look at that, look. Just beautiful. So we've got the Little Mermaid, Bluebeard, Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella. I think you get maybe 3 or 4 cards with each fairy story. Another Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Rapunzel, Snow White, oh, Rumpelstiltskin, look at him. The Wild Swans, another Wild Swans, Little Red Riding Hood, Hansel and Gretel, another Snow White, another Rapunzel, the Sleeping Beauty. Oh, look at the Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Red Riding Hood, Hansel and Gretel, Bluebeard, Little Mermaid, Rumpelstiltskin, Wild Swans, Snow White, Rapunzel, and so on. Oh, look at the colours. It is really pretty. I think it's probably the most soft and feminine deck that I have, actually, in my oracle cards. So let's read Rapunzel and the Tower. Where is Rapunzel? I'll be here all day, won't I, trying to find it now. I'll pause the video if I can't find it in a minute. I could have always looked at the index, couldn't I? But that would be too easy. Rapunzel, here we go. So, Tower, liberation. The dark face, you may be held in stasis. The bright face, you can free yourself. So this talks about the fairy story itself, that she's locked up by a fairy to keep her safe from the perils of the world. She draws the prince to herself with the power of her voice and by choosing to love him. It says towers are strong edifices made by human hands that symbolically link heaven and earth. To enter a tower is to go up, and this idea of ascent makes a tower a powerful symbol of transformation and evolution of the soul. Towers can be strongholds, places to watch for danger or of retreat and contemplation, or they can be prisons. So sometimes you need to construct high walls to protect yourself or others from harm, or to provide a sanctuary for rest and healing. Sometimes, however, these high walls become a place of confinement, restricting your movements and limiting your horizons. This jail can be built around you by others, but often you construct it yourself. Drawing the tower means you need to examine your life and identify what is holding you back from change and growth. You may need to break free of the tower that kept you captive and seek a way to escape. So this deck will work really, really well with tarot cards, won't it? You can see that already. We have those similar themes. But then fairy stories are full of archetypes, aren't they? Full of them. So 2 more decks. So the next one is the Forest of Enchantment Oracle by Luana Weatherstone and Marilyn Merrilair, I can't pronounce that, Allwood. What is it? It's Llewellyn 40 card deck. We all know the Forest of Enchantment tarot, and it's lovely to have an oracle deck to go with it. And just like the tarot deck, it's beautiful. The guidebook, you get a whole picture plus a whole page of writing. Shows you how to use them. There's some spreads, quite a few spreads, which is always nice. Getting to know your cards as an introduction. Yeah, really nice. This is the beautiful backs. As you can see, I have not used mine as yet. I'm about to. These are my September, part of my September decks. I'm using the Mindscapes, John Richardson's Past Life cards. I'm still using the Penumbra, but I'm also using the Forest of Enchantment, both the tarot and the oracle deck, which I haven't got to just yet. Aren't they gorgeous? So pretty. Look at that, look. Bramble Brigade. Oh. Tea with a Fawn. The Jenny Wren. The Stone Hares. The Swan's Sister. The Gingerbread House. The Mushroom Picnic. Oh, look at that, look. The Questing Beast. A Lonely Gnome. Oh. Lawkeeper's Bookshop. Fairy Godmother. The Sacred Spring. So, as you can see, oh, look at the pigs. Oh, Treasure. Light in the Forest. Wow, Foxfire. The Wild Hunt. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So lovely. So let's have a quick read of, we'll go with the Fairy Godmother, shall we? Number 16. So it says, poof, your fairy godmother is here. She always hears you when you wish fervently enough. Her magical powers are limitless, although she uses her own judgment when it comes to using them. So you'll need to clarify your ultimate goal. She won't change your whole life with a swish of her wand. There are steps to be followed. For example, a good first wish might be to go to the ball. That will require a bit of a makeover, and you need transportation, of course. Anyway, I won't read all of that. The oracle's advice: because it is likely that your wish will come true, it is time to clarify your desires. As the saying goes, be careful what you wish for. Take advantage of opportunities offered, accept with grace and gratitude, and look for ways to pass along the magic. What wishes can you make come true? And the Lawkeeper's note is, yes, everyone has a fairy godmother. They are present at every birth, and they will pop up when needed. Sometimes they work in groups, usually 3, 7 or 12. And if there are 12 present, don't be surprised if a 13th makes a dramatic entrance towards the end of a party. Okay, so we've got one deck left. I'm sorry this video is taking a little while. It's taking a bit longer than I hoped, but I just think if you're going to show your decks, you want to try and do them justice, don't you? So this is the Call of the Morrigan, which I know lots of people purchased recently. Stephanie Woodfield, Karen Storminger, and art by Naomi Cornock. So it's the same as the old ways, isn't it? The artwork. This is a brilliant production. I mean, the book, the box, the cards. I mean, what is there not to like about this? Who is it by? So this is 2024, actually. I thought it was this year for some reason. Who's it by? I don't know. Can't see. Oh, it's Llewellyn. Yeah, Llewellyn. So you get this huge, chunky guidebook, which reminds me a lot of the Osho Zen guidebook, actually. In, you know, the shape and the size of it and everything, the detail of it. So Stephanie Woodfield's written a few books. Naomi Cornock's very talented, isn't she? So this, we've got using the card spreads, spells and rituals, a pronunciation guide. The cards. So yeah, they're not colour, but you get quite a lot of information. You get like 3 pages for each card by the looks of it. And yeah, you would need some help with the pronunciation of these. You get a spell for each card. And actually they're all quite simple spells. I have had a good look through this book, and I think most of these you wouldn't need a lot of equipment that most of us sort of don't have around. Like this one, you needed the card, a tea light, some water, a cup, some chamomile, some lavender, some lemon balm and some tulsi. I mean, the only thing I don't have at the moment is some tulsi, but I could easily get hold of that if I wanted. So, you know, these are all quite doable and quite practical. You know, this one you need the card, a yellow or bright coloured candle and an offering. So there's nothing here that you couldn't sort of put together quite quickly if you wanted to. These are beautiful cards. They've been edged in this lovely matte black. Look at the packs. I haven't worked with these as such properly yet. I have the Old Ways Oracle, but not this one. I think I was waiting for a tarot deck to pair it with. They're very fierce, aren't they? I did wonder about the Tarot of the She, whether that would pair well with this. As you can see, it's a very, very fierce deck, but very beautiful. The artwork is stunning. I really, really like it. So yeah, look at that, look. Paps of Anu. So beautiful. It's a very, very fierce warrior-like deck, isn't it? Quite bloodthirsty. Wow, look at her tattoos. Amazing. Wow, look at that, look. I love the tattoos on the bodies. This is gorgeous. Really nice. So let's have a quick read. We'll go for Leith Matcher, as I can actually say that one. Card 23. I won't read all of it. So it says keywords: loyalty, steadfastness and protection. So this was the main chariot horse of oh, I can't say the name. The horse was a gift from Masha. This is the horse of Q. I can't pronounce that. I don't know what that says. So this person tamed the horse by jumping on its back and staying there while the animal attempted to throw him off. After a day of riding circuits around Ireland, the horse tired and gentled to this person. The Leith matcher shed tears of blood before the hero's last battle, knowing the hero would perish. And when he was wounded and dying, the horse defended its master, killing 80 warriors. So the divinatory meaning is that this horse stayed with this man in his final hours instead of leaving him when the hero is mortally wounded. He remains and fights his enemies, so he represents loyalty even in dire times. So consider what is worth defending in your life. Where do your loyalties and priorities lay? Are you willing to see things through to the end, even when victory is not guaranteed? This horse can also represent protection from others around you, those around you who have your back and can be trusted. So while this man ignored the prophetic tears of the horse, do not ignore the good counsel of those trusted around you. And then we've got a spell. And like a little poem, I think. So yeah. So there we go. There we go. That is my oracle decks up to date now. And I think once I've uploaded this video, I'll give it a little while, and then I'm going to make a start on my tarot decks, because I would like to be nerdy and to catalogue all my tarot decks. And I've got a lot more tarot decks than I have oracle decks. I think I've got about 120 tarot decks at the moment and maybe 80 oracle decks. So it'll be a slightly longer series. But anyway, I hope you've really enjoyed having a look at my oracle decks, and I hope that you saw something here that you liked yourself. If you have any of these decks, let me know how you get on with them and what you pair them with. So I hope everybody's well. Thank you for spending some time with me, and sending my love to everybody, and I'll see you all again soon.